So, a very good afternoon to one and all. I would request all the participants to open the camera. We have been joined by our resource person, Dr. Shrikant Kallurkar, sir. So, on behalf of UGC-Malaviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, I welcome Dr. Kallurkar, sir. He is a retired principal at AET Atharva College of Engineering, Mumbai. He is currently Advisor Research Institute for Studies in Vedic Science, Shivpuri, Akkalkot District, Solapur, and Advisory Board Member of ENSIN, Entrepreneurship, Startup and Innovation Forum, Pune. He has obtained his BE in Mechanical Engineering, MMS, and Doctorate in Industrial Engineering. He has worked in industry as Bajaj Auto Limited and Kirloskar Brothers Limited, Pune, for 5 years and has over 45 years of experience, 5 years of industrial experience, and 40 years of teaching experience to his credit. He is also a founder, HOD Production Engineering at SGSS Institute of Engineering and Technology, Nanded, and principal at AISSMS College of Engineering, Pune, and also founder principal of Marathwada Mitramandal College of Engineering, Pune. So again, I welcome him and I would now hand over the session to him. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So I hope my assistant Anuja has joined.
Just a minute, I will check, sir.
Yeah. Anuja, can you confirm?
Just you can raise the hand, Anuja. I think she's
Okay.
not on, sir.
Okay, sir. I'll check with her.
अगर मैम ज्वाइन नहीं है तो सिर्फ उन्हें हैंड रेस करने के लिए बोलिए सर, उनको भी को-होस्ट बना देंगे.
Yes. Anuja, please confirm if you are joined. Because you have to give the PowerPoint presentation. She is Lenovo. वहां से वो thumbs up कर रही है. You can share your PPT, Anuja. सर उनको कोर्स बना सकते हैं. This Lenovo, she is saying it.
I have made him a
Yes.
co-host, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anuja,
You can unmute
please
Anuja.
share. Yeah, she is doing. Right. So, thank you very much, sir. And it is my pleasure to be associated with this center since a long time. And earlier, sir used to advise me to speak on why NEP and then how NEP. But recently, we delivered some sessions elsewhere on embedding Indian knowledge system with the modern education, especially the engineering and the higher education. So Anuja, you can start the first PPT. Yeah. So if you go back to the year 1835, I hope I am audible to all the audience.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Audience
thank you,
is
sir.
muted, sir. Audience cannot unmute.
Oh yeah, right, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you very much.
I will take your
So,
leave.
please, sir. Anuja, next PPT. Yeah. So why IKS has become important? We all know about the Macaulay, and many of you would have even read the letter which appear in the social media as if it was in the newspaper at that time. And see, they have traveled across the length and breadth of this country. I have not seen a beggar and all these things. In fact, IIT Kharagpur was entrusted with a project to understand what exactly would have happened at that time. And it was observed that probably it was not so clear cut, but you can say the things were kept in a sugar coated language as if we are in the interest of Indian population. And he says the future of Indian education can be, there can be a shift, that is medium of instruction can be English, and even now also we are speaking in the same language. And let them be aware about the Western sciences so that these people will be able to understand what the world is doing, where the world is marching, and they do not remain backward. So with this sweet language, Mr. Macaulay put it forth to the British Parliament, and the outcome of that is we have a modernization in education system. One good thing that has happened because of English as a language is because Britishers ruled major part of this world, it became almost an official language for everyone else to communicate, and even now so. So we started having a global access. That global access has proved to be a positive thing in the current situation. But the problem was administrative class. The higher education system was designed to develop the administrative class, the yes sir kind of people, the people who would obey the orders rather than think creatively. And to a larger extent, Macaulay was successful in doing that. So next PPT, Anuja. So the cost of this shift is there is a marginalization of indigenous knowledge system. We had some our original knowledge system which has gone in marginalization. And an average Indian started feeling that whatever comes from the Western world is good. Even to a larger extent, now also we have this kind of thinking pattern. And then there is a time that we need to go back to this, understanding what is exactly was the reason, what kind of knowledge we had. And then having gone ahead for last almost 200 years with the current system. So what is important is, can we have a amalgamation of the two? Or can we find out some solutions to certain problems which a modern world is facing with the help of ancient knowledge which we had almost 2000 to 3000 years ago. So what happened is that we had a disconnect from civilizational roots. Our own civilizations, we had a disconnect. And so there is a need to reevaluate the education balance. How can we have a balance between the modern education and whatever was there in the ancient past. So next PPT. Are we globally competent but culturally fragmented? Today we say proudly that the CEOs of the most of the top companies are people of Indian origin. But then we are culturally fragmented. There are a lot of fragmentations based on the language that we speak, based on the small geographical area that we belong to, and many more. In fact, most of you would be knowing now that the concept was Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Krunvanto Vishwa Aryam. The concept Krunvanto Vishwa Aryam means let everyone in the universe, in this world, be a noble person. There was not a specific way of looking at it as if someone has to become whatever he is from Arya, Dravid and Arya, not like that, but a noble person. You know, you would have seen old some of the TV serials or movies also, where the wife is calling her husband as Arya or Arya Putra. That means a noble person or son of a noble man. Now the question that arises is, of course, yes, NEP 2020 has made it mandatory that 5% credit should be from Indian knowledge system. So for a typical undergraduate level, it comes to around 8 credits. If we assume that 160 credits is the 3 years course. Should we only teach Indian knowledge system as an independent subject, which we are already doing? Because from this year, or maybe in few cases, maybe last year, an Indian knowledge system as a subject has been introduced. I am from Pune. So even in this university also, they introduced a subject like all other universities. And in first year, it is being taught as an independent subject. So the question is, should we continue to do only IKS as an independent subject? Or it can be clubbed with IKS wisdom for holistic education? Means, can we incorporate the IKS based wisdom in the systems that we are teaching? I am basically from Bamu jurisdiction. I am graduated in 1977 from Government College of Engineering, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. And for almost 21 years, I was in the different positions like lecturer, associate professor, and then professor at Nanded's Guru Gobind Singh Engineering College, which was later on affiliated to Swami Ramantirth Marathwada University, Nanded. So there I tried an attempt in mid-90s. That was not a time when we would have said that we want to work on Vedic science or we want to add. The word IKS itself was not existing. But still, in a subject like industrial management, which was being taught for third year engineering, we introduced 6 hours of Indian managed systems. And you know, that college being a government college, and for as far as engineering education is concerned, if we introduce something, that was a time when no one was questioning. And we found that good number of students chose to work in this field for their B projects. And one student who did his project, he developed a 5 minutes concept called Swadhyaya, self-study, 5 minutes appointment with the self, so that you are always on the track of right action. And surprisingly, he got a job in a company called Kaizen. I mean, they were consultants helping the industries to implement Kaizen, which is a Japanese management technique. Because in the process, through his project, he realized that we have a system in Indian knowledge system where we can develop the Kaizen consciousness. So here is an applied benefit of this, which we tried a long time, because fortunately for my postdoctoral research, I got some funding from Government of India, and I did a research further and implemented that in the curriculum in a very silent way, not the way it has been told by this time by the ministry under the current national education policy. So now we need to answer a question: what model of education will future? I'm talking about engineering education. So engineers build, or what model of education which future professors will build? The people who are students today, after 20 years, they may become the faculty members. Some of them will become a faculty members in different colleges. What kind of education model they would like to build, so that we do not remain globally competent but culturally fragmented. I hope I'm able to reach the audience. We have an institute called Bhishma School of Indian Knowledge System. So recently, their management called me and then said, "Sir, we want to have larger number of online programs on Indian knowledge system, so that different universities in the country will be able to take up these programs. We'll convert them into video lectures so that any university, any college should be able to incorporate that." And he had an idea that let there be 1,000 hours of expert lectures in different aspects of IKS. And he was thinking of a, say, 1,000 hours. Each course is having 40 or 50 hours of lecturing. So maybe I will be able to offer 20 courses or 25 courses. During course of discussions, we thought, why not convert these into capsule courses? And at the same time, next day I was to go to an engineering college where they are having a program on aeronautical engineering. And there was a project exhibition, and the prize distribution ceremony was there. While discussing with the authorities from aeronautical engineering, we said, why not have 10% of the review of literature from Viman Pattan Shastra? Maybe yes, we will be able to get some solutions to the problems that we are facing today. Now, the way it may happen in Viman Pattan Shastra, I did my doctorate from NEP. Today it is called Indian Institute of Management, Mumbai, in technical entrepreneurship. If engineers are to become entrepreneurs, what kind of factors are required? One of the major factors is the quality of individuals. And there I came across certain qualities or certain traits of the individuals. To develop those traits, there were no training methodologies available. So this way I got attracted towards what is called Indian knowledge system today. And you all know, as we just finished our PhD, which I did in 1994, was charged with the idea that let me work further in this. Because if you want to be in teaching, we must be a lifelong researcher and learner. Here I will little deviate, but in the meantime, Anuja, you can go to the next PowerPoint. Little deviation from here is, suppose you want to offer your courses on Coursera or Udemy or maybe YouTube, your video lectures on YouTube. Then the way of teaching may not be as if you are reading from the book and then reproducing in the class, which many of our faculty members do. But then whatever you will be speaking has to be your original knowledge. It has to be a knowledge that is created by you. It could be small part, only 10 hours, or you may modify it to 20 hours and then offer it on YouTube. We tested this when I was the principal in Mumbai of an engineering college. I had very active faculty members. So we said that why don't some of you create your course on YouTube? To begin with, there were 2-3 faculty members who offered a course. And slowly people are started subscribing their channel. And when it reached around 100 plus, we said, why not charge maybe $2, $5, and then raise it up to $10 US dollars. And then what happened? In his case, it raised up to 1,000 subscribers, ready to pay 10 US dollars each. Imagine, as a teacher, you are earning 10,000 US dollars for one 10-hour session. The boy who is learning, he is getting 1 hour session in $1. It's nothing for him. It's a peanut for him. But when 1,000 people are subscribing, you are earning almost 10,000 US dollars at a very nominal cost. Your lectures are offered at a very nominal cost of $10. Now, this could be possible in case of any one of you also. His name is Professor Patil. And then he came and said, yes, sir, ye to maza aa gaya. Now, coming back to our discussions. Let's see some of the Western scientific approaches which Macaulay wanted to teach us. Newton, he gave us 3 laws of motion. But if you go deep into this subject, with the help of Indian knowledge system, you will find that Kannad Rishi, 2,500 years before Newton, gave the same 3 laws. If you check on any AI platform or Google, I don't know about the Google, but a proper AI platform or maybe even ChatGPT, you will find all those formulas in Sanskrit. And exact meaning is same as all the 3 laws. Of course, if we ask Google or ChatGPT or any other AI tool, does it mean that Newton copied the knowledge from Kannad Rishi? The answer is no. At 2 different time zones, 2 scientists got the same answer. Only thing, Kannad Rishi did not popularize what he did to a larger extent, whereas Newton could. And because there is no proof that your knowledge was stolen, I'm talking from ethical perspective at global level. Because there is no proof that this knowledge was stolen, we need to accept, okay, at two different time zones, two different scientists, one was a Rishi, another was a Western person, got the same findings. But it does not mean that we were not knowing these things early. Yes, 2500 years before Newton, so 2700 years before now, someone had told us these laws of motion. Now the question is, the way it was mentioned with reference to the today's level of understanding, the language is different. But if we look at that from a perspective of the field in which you are there, you will find that in majority of the fields, the knowledge exists. And if you start digging it out, you find that yes, there are answers to the modern day problems also. I have a student from New York, my own student who did his PhD in cybersecurity at Rochester University, and he was working 2 years ago as a junior cybersecurity engineer in New York. So once he called me and said, "Sir, I feel like coming back to India because 3 years for my PhD and 3 years after that. So last 6 years I am in US, I'm getting bored." He happens to be from Mumbai. So I casually asked him in the language of way we speak in English, Mumbai, सिर्फ 3 आदमी का टीम लीड बनना ही था तो इसके लिए यूएस क्यों गया? पीएचडी तो तू आईआईटी मुंबई में भी कर सकता था, और साइबर सिक्योरिटी इंजीनियर या टीम लीड ये जॉब तो तुझे कोई भी आईटी कंपनी में इंडिया में मिलता था. नाउ हैविंग गॉन टू यूएस, कुछ बन के वापस आ, एंड ही एग्रीड, he accepted that. And then we had a training program based on IKS, which we call it as goal and personality mastery. We will discuss about that almost at the end of our session. And what happened? After 1 month, that is half of our training, because we used to meet only for almost 1.5 hours per week. Company observed, US is a land of opportunity. So he was under observation. Certain good things are happening about this person, Dr. Gaurav. So they observed that there are certain changes happening because of which we can give him extra workload. So they made him a team lead of 10. You can say approximately 3 teams. And by the time we finished our training, at the end of second month, he was a team lead of 16. And they still observed that he has capabilities. So he was given a job of developing a dashboard, which was later being used by 50% of the employees in 35 countries. So almost 1,000 numbers. And then he was given the duty of training the people for using his dashboard. But then there was a fear that this boy will leave our job. So they asked him, "What is that you are aspiring for?" In the meantime, we had also decided that early as possible, Gaurav should become a C-suite executive, that is board of directors level. Surprisingly, because the dashboard was developed, in the meantime, there was a threat which he could resolve instead of making the payment. The data security threat, data privacy threat. So he said, I would like to be this chief privacy officer. And the CEO of the company put a remark on that. Yes, I agree. Dr. Gaurav Wagh can be the first chief privacy officer of this company. Because for Europe and America, the laws of data privacy are very, very stringent for IT companies. And there things got different. And now he has been promoted as head data privacy because if you want to be a C-suite executive, then it is almost 3 years of training. So the training period is on. But his designation is changed as head data privacy across the company. And about 3 months ago, the CEO sent a kind of circular notification company-wide saying that henceforth data privacy across all the platforms, means across all the departments, you can say. And then he suddenly became a person of importance at the organizational level, from a small department level or from section level, small section in a department. For first quarter of 2026, he was given 50,000 US dollars to start implementing his ideas. And recently we had a presentation also to the board and CEO. Now, in the process, he faced certain problems with corporate politics, departmental power dynamics, then organizational behavior. And we could resolve all these things with the help of application of certain principles from Indian knowledge system. Why I told you this story, this whole case? Because you may understand, you may realize that yes, it can be applied. So successfully we implemented that with one of the students in New York and now another guy in Stuttgart. It's in the process. So it's a concept of lead from within. And think of a 10x growth for which the references come from Atharva Ved. This is the beauty of Indian knowledge system. You will, if you go deep into the subject, you will also find that yes, there are some certain knowledge patterns, you can call it as hidden gems and use it in the modern world. Pythagoras talked about mathematical orders, Einstein about space, time, measurement, measure the universe and build modern technology. This was the thing that they did. They measured the universe and build the modern technology. Now let us see the scenario in Indian context, IKS point of view. Next PPT, Anuja. Aryabhatta. Cosmic calculations. Kannar Rishi. He developed atomic theory, Anu Parmanu, and also gave the Newton's the laws of motion. But he was studying on the motion of electrons. Might be so. Patanjali talked about science of mind and also the body. That's why yoga has now been accepted throughout the world. So you will find that the best type of psychology also is available in Indian knowledge system, especially positive psychology. There is a branch. If there are professors of psychology, you would be knowing. There's a branch in psychology, positive psychology. We recently used the Diner scale from positive psychology about life satisfaction. And we observed that certain things from Indian knowledge system are very much useful in enhancing the life satisfaction amongst the professionals. We worked across for construction industry professionals because it was a research taken up by Nikbar University, National Institute of Construction Management in Pune. And now we are recommending to some other colleges, can we do the similar kind of studies across the other industry sectors? One of the industry sector we comes to our mind is IT sector now. And now we are looking for the organizations who would like to work in IT sector and find out whether the people in IT these days are threatened with artificial intelligence because many of their colleagues have lost their jobs. How to enhance the guarantee of employability when there is no guarantee of employment? And we are able to see that, yes, through certain solutions, that guarantee of employability is possible. Our students, whichever field they will be going, there is no guarantee of employability. Those who would have joined in academics 20 years ago or 30 years ago, yes, we had guarantee of employment. Till we are retired, and then we will get our pension, provided you are from the state government funded or state government institution. But this kind of guarantee is no more available. So we need to teach our students how to enhance our guarantee of employability. And the research that we are doing, we observe that for this also there are solutions in the Indian knowledge system. So it means for modern problems, we have certain solutions. Next PPT. So there is a provocative reflection. Let's ask this question to ourselves. If science explains how the universe works, who explains? Who is experiencing it? And how the universe works? Who is experiencing it? If we can combine them together, then you will find that future researchers and especially the engineers, because I am from engineering background, so large number of times I deliver lectures for engineering colleges or faculty development programs of engineering institutions. So engineers of the future must master matter, mind, and the meaning. But it is not applicable only for engineers. Even the science graduates of the future also should master matter, mind, and the meaning behind that. For example, can you ask this question to your students? Are you your marks? These days, our students get annoyed very fast. So are you your anger? Their moods keep on swinging. So are you your mood? Or you are something different, and that something different ultimately comes to consciousness, which can lead up to subconsciousness. So at that level, can I look at the things which are materialistic? And you will find that then the way of looking at the things is different. Probably our rishis had this type of research methodology. We say Veda were apaurushya. So knowledge was directly transferred, whatever was the system. When we try to look at the things, matter, mind, meaning together, we can look at any subject in a different way. And basically, this is the base of Indian knowledge system. Now the time has come that having introduced that as a subject for maybe 2 credits or some institutions 4 credits, remaining 4 to 6 credits minimum. And if you exceed that, no one is going to stop you. Why not go in the amalgamation format? Okay. Next PPT, Anuja. Now, another thing is, some of you would have attended the sessions on role of AI in education. Let's see a role of AI in eye care. Truly speaking, the base of AI may go back to the work of Professor Edward de Bono, who was a medical doctor, and in 1960 he came up with a theory that the type of experience that we gain with our senses, it is stored in our brain in the form of cluster of neurons. Now it is well accepted. And we have millions of neurons in our brains, and they develop a pattern. So next time when we see a certain similar things, the mind immediately tries to compare and come to a conclusion based on the pattern, perception. And when we get similar perceptions again and again, it becomes pattern of perception. And a stage comes when he explains it in the form, so his book, Mechanism of Mind. It is patterns of perceptions. So AI is also based on neural networks. We talk about machine learning, deep learning, pattern recognition. So the beauty of AI is it can recognize the patterns in a more able way than what a human mind can think. Now, can we take the benefit of AI, which can recognize patterns from large number of Indian knowledge systems? Because lot of information, almost last 20 years, though it has come to surface now. I was a auditor mentor for top engineering colleges like NITs under the World Bank project with the help of Ministry of HRD at that time. And during TechU phase 3, that is 2016 to 2021, we observed that many of the national institutions were interested with funding to digitize, decode the knowledge of from ancient texts. And because of that, the digitization, a lot of information is now available with AI, which can recognize the pattern of Indian knowledge system and the modern knowledge system together. And it can tell you where are the commonalities. So some of you can design a curriculum if you are from deemed university or a university system or an autonomous institute, where you make use of AI, try to understand the patterns, and then think of integrating or embedding some part of Indian knowledge system in a subject that you are teaching. And that's possible. So pattern recognition across disciplines, so that you can go for integration of IKS and the modern sciences. Hope audience is with me on this point. Pattern recognition across disciplines, including Indian knowledge system. And then really we'll be able to offer multidisciplinary kind of courses. And AI can come to our rescue for this. It has already given a support for preservation and digitization of that knowledge. And it is still in the process because amount of knowledge available is also huge. But almost last more than 10 years, almost 20 years, you can say, in certain case, institutions, we have started digitization of that ancient texts. And now most of the AI systems have access to that. So you can make use of it and design and develop a program. Next PPT, Anuja. When AI is useful, there are certain limitations, which is also good for us. It lacks lived experience and the cultural depth. So that cultural depth and lived experience has to come from the concerned professor. So here is a combination that you can think of HI and AI, human intelligence and artificial intelligence, wherein final decision making is in the control of human intelligence. But then if you want final decision making to be in the control of human intelligence, it need not happen, it should not happen the way it is happening with whatever atomic research was done. And now it has gone in the hands of the people who are ready to destruct the population. So there is a need of ethical AI. And that's possible provided the HI has a base in the Indian knowledge system. Again, I'm telling you from my own experience, because I'm out of my interest after retirement, I'm still doing the research in this field. And when we feel that yes, HI can be superior than the AI, especially from the point of view of ethical AI. If you are from electronics or engineering background, some of you, so last almost 2000 or 2010 onwards, they were talking about Industry 4.0. And now suddenly we are talking about Industry 5.0, human-centered decision-making process and going for ecological balance. There are multinational companies who have created positions of sustainable executives for sustainable development, and up to the rank of vice president. I'll give an example of company like Electrolux, which is again a multinational company. They have recently moved to the slogan company-wide, sustainability first and not profit first. They know if they maintain sustainability, they can earn profit for a longer period of time. So this is a boom for us. Another limitation is AI cannot replicate the intuitive wisdom, the wisdom that comes out of human intuition. It cannot be replicated by artificial intelligence. So naturally, this is something useful for us, where HI can supersede the AI. Now, empathy is something AI cannot be empathetic. And if you see about the product designs in the modern industries, the product design needs to start what they call it as design thinking. And most of the companies want to implement it for now. It starts with empathy. You think the way your customer is thinking and design a product that more is suitable for customer. I was just discussing with an IT professional recently, in fact, yesterday only, truly speaking. He was in TCS for almost 22 years and then started on his own. He said, we were talking about the user experience of the IT sector. And he casually mentioned, see, the app of ICICI is more user friendly than most of the other banks. Because when it was being designed, user experience was given a prime importance. That is nothing but empathy. So this empathy cannot come from machines. It cannot come from artificial intelligence. It has to be from the human beings. We need to teach them how to be empathetic. Now, about 2 months ago, I was talking with an AI expert at SPIT Andheri. There was a program going on IKS and AI, generative AI and Indian knowledge system. So it was a 2-day session. When we said that probably empathy is something which is unique for us, he said yes, and that's why we are working on developing SI from AI so that the AI will try to become empathetic. But it will take at least 20 years that it will be commercially available. So a day will come when AI also will be empathetic in nature. But intuitive wisdom will be lacking because it is not a living thing. AI is not a living thing, whereas human being is a living thing. So that difference is there. How it works, we'll see further. Next PPT, Anuja. Now, Kannan Rishi did a lot of fundamental work. He tried to develop a classification system of Indian knowledge system and called it as Vaisheshik Sutras. This was almost 2,700 years ago. So understanding reality through classification of existence, that was his approach. How to understand the reality through the classification of existence. So one way he says is Dravya, Prithvi, Aap, Tej, Vayu and Akash. This is what is known to us. Panchamahabhuta. So understanding the universe in the form of Panchamahabhuta. It came from him, and now the time has come that these Panchamahabhutas need to be brought back to their original condition. Otherwise, it will be difficult for human species to live on this earth. Earth will be there. We as the human beings may not be there if the things keep on developing the way it is. So we are talking about sustainable development. Now, if you go deep into this, we observe that Tej is not yet polluted. Pollution is there. Soil is polluted. Water is polluted. Air is polluted. We say problem is there for the ether also. But fortunately, fire is not yet polluted. What does it mean? The sequence is also Prithvi, Aap, Tej, Vayu and Akash. So it is at the center. Probably with this element, we may be able to purify the other elements. And there are scientists who are working on this, not only from our country, but other countries also. One of my friend, Dr. Ulrich Berg from Germany, he has spent almost 40 years of his life. He's 77 years old on trying to understand how Teja or Tejas can bring back Prithvi, Aap, Vayu and Akash. That becomes a different subject altogether. I don't want to go into the further details of these things because we are now working at this moment on trying to understand how to amalgamate Indian knowledge systems in the different subjects. Whether the remaining parts of credits also we should offer it as a subject like an history. Yatha, 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 yatha. But then what? Oh, I think something else has happened. Please go back to the PPT. Anuja, can you go back to the PPT? Okay, but in the meantime, we'll continue. Another way of classification he developed was Kal and Diksha, Disha, time and direction. Kal, Dikha. Another way was Atma, Manas, the self. When I say I want this, means truly speaking, I means what? Definitely not our body, not our mind, not our knowledge. Taittiriya Upanishad refers to that. But so he tried to classify that as an Atma and Man. What happened? The PowerPoint cannot come back. Dr. BG Shirmane's screen. Sir, can we go back to our screen? Any problem? Anuja, can you at least chat it, type in the chat bar if you can't speak? What is the problem? Or whether the administrator has changed the permissions. Please check. I think everybody is muted. So other than me, I think no one can speak. There are chats. Should we check? Oh, this is your attendance. So I don't know. Can you come back or not? Otherwise, I will to deliver the remaining part of the session without PowerPoints. Because I am delivering from a mobile phone. Unfortunately, there is no response. Okay. Hope it will come back. Anuja, can you hear me? Hello, Anuja. Anuja, can you hear me?
सर मी शेअर
No one
करते
can hear me. Any problem?
नो सर फ्रॉम माय साइड आई एम शेअरिंग स्क्रीन बट
Any problem with the system? Am I audible or no?
यस सर
There is no response at all from the audience. Yes, I am audible. So let's go ahead and okay. So we'll continue. Yeah, she has come back now again. There was a lot of situation. Okay. So Vaishik Sutra Guna. रूप रस गंध स्पर्श This was another way of classification. Then Sankhya Parimana Sanyog Vibhag. Buddhi, Sukh, Dukkha, Ichha, Dvesh, Prayatna. So you will find that matter, mind, and meaning, they are able to think of it simultaneously. Probably the modern methods have not been able to do that. Modern way of working is you have put them in watertight compartments. Next PPT. From karma point of view. Utkshepana, avakshepana, akunchan prasaran, gaman. So it is nothing but throw up, throw down, contraction, expansion, movement, and the concept that highlights the gravitational force. So probably the gravitational force and knowledge about that, how the different stars are attracting each other, all these things were mentioned, were studied. Next PPT. Now, engineer's dharma means the way a modern scientist or engineer will work. Sutra is how are we going to do the research? Pratyaksha Anuman Agama Pramanani. Yes, we are doing to a larger extent the same research methodology we are also following in modern sciences or modern research methodology. This was a structured method of problem solving of Indian knowledge system. Let's take a simple example of day-to-day life. 6 months old child is there. It goes crawling near a fire or something which is hot. And the child is trying to touch that hot thing. What generally mom or the other people in the family say, means don't touch it. It is hot. To begin with, child does not understand. What you are doing? You are pulling back the child. So what the child would be doing? He is finding an opportunity when no one is observing him and so that he can go and touch that thing and experience himself. And होता क्या है? जैसे वो हाथ लगाता है, चुटका बैठता है, and then he realizes, oh no, yeah, that means something I should keep myself away from it. And then later on, anything which looks like a fire, including a picture also, you would have experienced this with your own children. Including a picture which shows fire, the child will say, So there is a reasoning. What is important is understands, he sense it. So this way you can develop reasoning, authority, and validity of the knowledge. This is basically a research methodology which was being adopted. So when we want to do further research, the problem you will face is how can I do a research in certain aspects of Indian knowledge system with the modern research methodology, but unless we do that, the present scientific era will not accept what we are saying. So we will have to develop ourselves in such a way that with the current research methodologies we develop, we prove whatever was mentioned at that time is applicable now also. But while doing that, at our personal level, if you are a scientist, if you are a researcher, at your personal level, try to follow that intuitive method. Now, this intuitive method of following is not necessary that it was only at that time. When I was pursuing my PhD at NEP, once my guide said, he went to some very senior researcher and wanted to have a discussion with him. So when he went there to him, he was staying in some five-star hotel, and he was, when this reached there, he was swimming in the swimming pool. So naturally, he had no choice than to sit somewhere near the swimming pool and wait till the scientist's swimming is over. And suddenly, he came out of water, took a pen, a pad which was kept on the table nearby, scribbled something, went back for swimming. After his swimming was over and they started discussing, question, sir, how come that you came out for a minute, wrote something on a piece of paper? I'm talking about 30 years old story. And then again you have gone back for swimming. He said, while swimming, a new idea struck me. And now before I forget that, I wanted to put it down on a piece of paper so that I can do further research based on that. So it means even modern researchers also follow the intuitive methods. Now, what we can do when we are trying to combine IKS and modern knowledge, we may use that as a proper research methodology sometimes. Focused meditation, which is called focused meditation. You are focused on problems, then you are trying to meditate and try to find out whether something from intuitive point of view can come. Okay, next PPT. So problem solving flow, प्रत्यक्ष अनुमान, प्रश्न अनुमान, प्रत्यक्ष, पूर्व प्रकाश, उत्तर प्रकाश, समाधान. So problem definition, hypothesis forming, experiment designing, DOE, design of experiments or investigation pattern, validation, and then publish the results. You say you also sometimes recommend your research scholars. First few papers you present in the conference. Why? Because in these conferences there are experts. We listen to you and give you a feedback which you can use for your other further part of the research. So Samadhan. Next PPT. Now another way of classification was Payu Yamas, ethical karmas. Here that HI over AI, that importance comes. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. Health and safety, honest reporting as a researcher, integrity with the knowledge system, discipline of working, and non-possessiveness. The knowledge which is of use to the world at large, I will not try to possess that. You know, Dr. Mashelkar, he fought the case of an international law, a patent of turmeric by an American company. It took almost 10 years for us to fight that the properties of turmeric are known to Indians since ages. And we were using turmeric in those forms. So it's a knowledge in public domain. How can you patent that? So a lot of references, a lot of other things had to be presented. And finally, from international court, it was declared that the patent is cancelled and knowledge about turmeric, haldi जो कहते हैं, this knowledge is a part of public domain and no one can go for patent. Otherwise, someone wanted to patent and then उससे दवाई बनाओ और उसको मार्केट में बेचो, earn profit. Non-possessiveness was missing. They wanted to be possessive about the knowledge of turmeric, whereas we were recommending it's something of a non-possessive nature. Aparigraha. See, this is the beauty that we can apply it in the modern time also. Next, repeat. Again, few more Western scientists. Albert Einstein worked on physics. Copernicus on astronomy. Pythagoras, mathematics. Kepler, astronomy. Laplace, Laplace transformation, mathematics. Newton, physics. Now let us see few more rishis who also worked on the different aspects, Indian scholars. Next PPT. Sushruta. No, go back. Go back by one. Sushruta. Wait here. Sushruta, medicine. Also surgery. The first plastic surgeon of the world was Sushruta. So when during COVID, there was a discussions going on. Let's see what is there in Charak Samhita and Sushrut Samhita. Can we get some solutions from that? So Charak Rishi on Ayurveda. Medicine. You can say medicine and surgery with modern time. Kannad Rishi, atomic theory. Electron, proton, neutron, everything he found. Patanjali, Yoga Sutras. Aryabhatta, mathematics and astronomy. Varahamihir, mathematics and astronomy again. Next PPT. Brahmagupta talked about mathematics. The unique work of Brahmagupta is he again discussed about zero. And he proved that this zero is neutral, but it is powerful. This neutrality and its power. आज हम कहते हैं ना जीरो जिस भी दूसरे अंक के सामने रखोगे उस अंक की वैल्यू बढ़ेगी. एक के सामने जीरो रखो तो 10 हो जाएगा और एक जीरो रखो तो 100 हो जाएगी. बट जीरो ऑन इट्स ओन इज न्यूट्रल. उसकी कोई वैल्यू नहीं है. Now this zero can be thought at the level of human mind. When your mind is at zero state, मंदिर जाते हैं तो क्या करते हैं? नमन करते हैं ना. नमन क्या होता है? Mind is at zero state. So when my mind is at zero state, It's a source of tremendous knowledge. So this beauty of zero and proving it to be a very powerful, not only in one field, but not only in Anka Shastra, but any other subjects also, especially psychology. That was the beauty of contribution. Chanakya Arthashastra, Bharadwaj Physics, Bhaskaracha first and second, again mathematics. Nagarjuna talk about alchemy, where chemistry, philosophy, medicine, and spiritual perfections, they are going hand in hand. Really marvelous way of working on knowledge system. Chemistry, philosophy, medicine, spiritual perfection, they all go hand in hand. And Pingala, the binary system. Pingala Rishi gave the concept of binary system. Complete IT sector is based on that. The computerization is based on a binary system, 0, 1. And it was given by Pingala Rishi. So a student of computer engineering, if he wants to do a project, let him try to have 10% of his review of literature, really what Pingala had done about the binary system. And maybe, yes, some issues which you are facing, you may get the solution from them for that. Now, this emptiness, we have developed it in the form of a creative pause. So we'll come back to this again. I'll just tell you, one of my students, 2014 pass out, was working in IT sector in Mumbai. He contacted me after almost 10 years of his graduation, saying, "Sir, I'm planning to start a IT company." And he wanted to have a shift from a software approach to a product approach. And in the IT sector, a product has got more profit margin, like products of Microsoft. That's why the earnings of this company are very high. So he wanted to have some solution of that kind. But in the meantime, what happened? Something went wrong in his life. And he was telling me, "Sir, sometimes I'm getting suicidal attempt." See the seriousness of this issue. Or my behavior unnecessarily with my parents is changing. I get annoyed with them for no reason. And then after some time, I realize something has gone wrong with me at some other level, some other place. Why I'm getting annoyed with my parents, I don't understand. We said, let's do one thing. His name is Mr. Mitesh. So we said, Mitesh, ek kaam karte hain. Try to be thoughtless for 20 seconds. What we are doing, ब्रह्मगुप्त ने जो जीरो का इंपॉर्टेंस दिया है ना, वो माइंड लेवल पे हम यहाँ पे इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं. Try to be thoughtless for 20 seconds. So here, what I will do, I will take a small break of 20 seconds. Unless you are driving or at a hazardous place while attending this session, don't try with us. Otherwise, everyone in the group, sit as comfortably as possible wherever you are. Hope some of you are doing. Sit as comfortable as possible wherever you are. And for 20 seconds, try to be thoughtless. We'll experience this and how it works in his own words, we'll see. his own video. So I declare our time starts now. And the time is up. So what we have done, we have tried to experience this zero state of mind for 20 seconds. If some of you can type it out in the chat box, can you put it in words? How do you feel? Hope some of you have done with me. Not that everyone has just connected your laptops or mobile phones, smartphones, and left. I hope so. Anyone would like to give the feedback? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel fresh? Can you write? Because you are all on mute. But still, if you can, you may find that yes, you feel little relaxed. And that becomes a source of energy. We'll see the video later. Next PowerPoint, next PPT. The theory of life. Again, the basic idea. This was done by Kannad Rishi. And we, the modern science, physics, we all accept this. Everything in the universe is made of protons, neutrons, electrons. Everything has got this P and E. Even different P and E with living and non-living also. But the difference between the two is that life, जिसे हम कहते हैं चेतना. So ये चेतना कहीं नहीं है, कहीं है, but all are having different combinations of protons, neutrons, electrons. And it is a basic composition of universe is fundamentally the same. Is it that when you say Ishavasya idam sarvam, does it include this? Plus that Chetana, somewhere dominant, means non-living things, it's dominant, living things, it's predominant. So can we look at the things in a form of matter and mind? There is no mind to the non-living things. Manas, which has something to do with that soul also. When that manas goes closer to the soul, manas starts getting developed further. If you remember that classification which we spoke just now. You know, some of you would be knowing Marathi, I'm sure. अहिल्या शिळा राघवे मुक्त केली पदी लागता दिव्य होऊन गेली. Means whether he had that capacity to convert that non-living thing in which the Chetana was at dominant phase to bring it to predominant phase. And maybe with the help of modern methods also we'll be able to do that tomorrow. That's why you say also. And there are scientists who are working in that direction also. So what does it mean when we try to combine these two things? A different kind of knowledge system will come forward, and which will be again useful to the whole universe. We will be the people who will be guiding the world, and maybe Bharat will be a Jagat Guru because of that. And the professors who will work in this direction may be a small part of that. Okay. Next PPT. Now these are different combinations of proton, neutron, and electrons, or different things. Someone is from chemistry, probably you will find out whether it is true, right, or any modification is needed in this. So different numbers have got different properties. Oxygen is different than nitrogen based on combination of proton, neutron, electrons. So this basic concept of this was also given by Kallurkar, but in a different language. Next. Now what we did, we worked with especially the mid-career executives from the point of view of achieving 10x growth, what we did with Dr. Gaurav or what we are doing with another guy from Stuttgart. And the training program is based on inner balance leads to outer excellence. Now, what is this inner balance? We all talk about personality development. So this word personality has come from the verb persona, means mask. So while dealing in the society, we wear different types of masks. But the mask can be there for a short span of time. And slowly that mask will fall down. Now let's take another example. We are not connected virtually, but it's an offline program. So we are all sitting in a classroom. And a new person comes. You start guessing about that person. What is that? First thing you need, see the dress. What kind of clothes he or she is wearing. It means dress gives an address. So those who work on placements, you ask them to wear the proper dress. Especially in engineering, उसमें हम circular ही निकालते हैं. All will come in formal for the interview. Where company campus पे आ रही है. Formal. Wearing formal means, yes, I'm serious about getting this job. I'm not coming in slippers or floaters and the kind of clothes which I wear for trekking. Dress gives the address. Physical appearance. The first impression is based on the physical appearance. Next comes your expressions. So wait there. Next comes your expressions. And the expressions could be one way to understand. Then comes how you speak. When you speak for a longer time, are you knowledgeable? Is this person is knowledgeable? Or is he fake? And then slowly, when you come across or when you spend time together for a longer duration, you try to understand, realize what makes that person happy or unhappy. So Taittiriya Upanishad looks at it from a different perspective. It says, within all of us, there is something like I. But that I itself is nothingness. That nothingness is I-ness, or it is a consciousness. It's something like peeling a onion. Keep on peeling the onion, and ultimately what you get is only a space. That is I. But that I, when I want to do this, so means that space or that consciousness within all of us want to do something. But for doing it, it needs a medium. For example, I am talking to you through a medium, and that is Zoom call. It needs a medium, and this medium has been defined in the form of Panchakoshas, 5 sheets of personality. Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, Manomay Kosh, Vijnanmay Kosh, and Anandamay Kosh. So truly speaking, development of personality is nothing but development of these Panchakoshas. So these koshas need to be aligned. That is inner alignment leading to external excellence. We have some corporate stories also for that. Or when I was talking to Gaurav, whenever he was facing the problems, I was trying to look at it from, I am his mentor from 5 Vedic laws of success. So I used to tell him inner alignment is important. But at the same time, you need another mentor who is from the company you are working. So he is his boss and the next boss. They are trying to groom him to reach to the level of chief privacy officer. When we meet someone, sometimes we say, "Kaise ho? Swasth ho?" That is nothing but स्व की स्थिति में हो या नहीं. So ये जो स्व की स्थिति है, that is nothing but inner alignment. And how to develop that, how to deal in the society, Bhagavad Gita talks about that in the form of Vedic laws of success. 18th chapter, 5th stanza, when Arjuna asks, बहुत बोला है, बहुत सा ऊपर से गया है, अभी एग्जाम है सामने, चलो इंपॉर्टेंट कुछ बोलो एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, थोड़े में एकदम शॉर्ट. He says, यज्ञदान तप कर्म न त्याज्यम कार्यमेव तत् यज्ञोदान तप कर्म भावनान मदिष्यणाम. Yajna, Dan, Tapa, Karma. These are basic duties. Here it is an order form. And by doing these duties, even a knowledgeable person becomes pious. Means this can become a tool of dealing with the people for a success in the career. Now, recently, the work was done at Kallurkar in Maharashtra, and there is a slight modification. Yajna dana tapa karma swadhyaya nirato bhavet. Here is the shift from order to prescriptive manner. Get engrossed in these things. Means contribution mindset at every time. Yajna. Sharing the assets with the feeling of humility with the fellow man where you are working. That is the law of dhan. restrainment, reduce your personal needs, even when you have access to many things. Understand the laws of action. We are given about 18 ways, do's and don'ts, which one can follow while dealing with the people. That is karma. And self-study, a 5 minutes appointment with the self, in which an individual takes first minute, he tried to remember the mistakes because of which he or she may not reach to the things which are planned. You want to have a 10x growth in career, which every of our student would like to have, or even we ourselves would like to have. To achieve that growth, what mistake I made in last 24 hours? And then resolve to yourself that at least that mistake I will not repeat. Then plan a day's important work, what I want to do. And then pray wherever you have a faith. Because out of prayer, an internal mind power is helpful for you. And then take a creative pause from 20 seconds, which can get extended up to 1 minute. It can go up to 2 minutes also with a lot of practice. Again, that importance of zero given by the Rishi at the level of your mind. And we found that this can give a solution to mid-career executives in the corporate world. We tried to train more than half a dozen of them in last 1.5 years, 2 years time since after my retirement. I started working on it once again. Though I did a research with funding from AICT in 1995. And after becoming principal, as you know, everyone gets loaded with the administrative loads. So that research was almost at dormant phase. But then post-retirement, I found, yes, now I have a time to do that. And luckily, Nikmar University said, okay, we are ready to finance it again. Do it for construction industry professionals. And we developed a model out of it. Now, the idea is, some of you also can work in whichever field you are. So method could be sharing, self-discovery, and integration. So with this, we go to the next PowerPoint. Now we will come to the job that we are interested with. And that is why IKS. And how do we merge that with the system that we are thinking. Now, NEP 2020 has already emphasized the integration of Indian knowledge systems into higher education. But we are keeping it as a watertight compartmental subject. IKS पढ़ लो बाबा, होता है तो कोई टीचर पढ़ाएगा कॉलेज में, नहीं होता है तो ये NPTEL का प्रोग्राम है, ये कर लीजिए, आपको इसके 2 या 4 क्रेडिट मिल जाएंगे. There is a need to have a shift from this attitude of the institutions, even the universities, with some purpose. And what is that purpose? Connect the traditional wisdom with modern technologies or modern things. Promote innovations rooted in local knowledge. ये बड़ी important बात है. Promote innovations rooted in local knowledge. Recently, NIT Hamirpur they had a 2 or 3 days conference, and the aim was हिमाचल प्रदेश, they are into हिमाचल प्रदेश. So हिमाचल प्रदेश में जो भी folk innovations है, means innovations implemented at rural level, and there is no documentation of that. But someone somewhere is practicing that. Convert that into a knowledge form so that it can be documented and spread across larger populations. It will not remain only with the person who is doing it. इसमें एक बहुत बढ़िया काम प्रोफेसर गुप्ता सर ने किया है, एंड अभी नहीं, पिछले 30 साल से. ही वॉज द प्रोफेसर ऑफ IIM अहमदाबाद. ये क्या करते थे गुप्ता सर? IIM के स्टूडेंट्स को लेके विलेजेस में निकल जाते थे, ट्राइबल एरिया में निकल जाते थे 2 दिन 3 दिन के लिए. इनका पढ़ाने का तरीका ही अलग था. और वहां जाने के बाद he was expecting that students are trying to find out the problems faced by the people there and see if any solution can come. Or if any innovative practices are adopted by the people, they will try to document that and convert that into a knowledge form. And he did for almost 10 years. And then he was chosen for Magsaysay Award, which was a sizable amount. In Maharashtra also, Sri Chitale, who got a Magsaysay Award for water conservation. He was a chief engineer. I had an opportunity, he was staying in Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar only after retirement. So I had an opportunity to meet him. I don't know about him now. And he was in the limelight because of the Magsaysay Award. So I casually asked him, Sir, kaise kiya aapne? He said, see, when I was the Secretary of Irrigation in Government of India, for 3 years, I never had any leave. Every week, Friday evening, I used to catch a flight, go to some corner of India, and being at the secretary level, he was entitled for travel for such reasons. और उन्होंने, he brought that concept of water societies in our country. And these water societies in different villages will decide how the water will get distributed. पीने के लिए कितना जाएगा, घरों के लिए कितना जाएगा, खेती के लिए कितना जाएगा, कैसे खेती के लिए डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होगा. All knowledge to be developed and implemented at local level. And because of that, he got a Magsaysay Award. Same thing, Professor Gupta got a Magsaysay Award for rural innovations, converting into modern knowledge. So being a professor of IIM, Government of India also said, okay, we are giving you matching grant. इससे आप क्या करो, एक नॉट फॉर प्रॉफिट टाइप की एक कंपनी खोलो, और वहां से जो भी काम अभी तक आपने किया है इसको बढ़ावा दो और बड़े पैमाने पे इसको करो. And then even his manager used to fly to the different parts of the country. Later on, it became a national mission. It was no more a local mission for Gujarat only, or Ahmedabad region. And they started working on problems of rural people. आपको मालूम है जो भिल लोग होते हैं, भिल, रूरल पॉपुलेशन, ट्राइबल पॉपुलेशन, वो लोग वो गोंद जमा करते हैं पेड़ों से. The problem they faced was they realized ये जब गोंद निकालते हैं पेड़ से तो क्या करते हैं, लकड़ी से उसको धक्का देते थे नीचे से, वो जो गोंद बना है किसी पेड़ पे वो नीचे गिरता था और फटाक से उसको दूसरा बंदा झोली में पकड़ लेता था। और बहुत बार ऐसे होता था कि भाई ये गोंद झोली में नहीं गिर रहा है, ये गोंद जमीन पे गिर रहा है। एंड जो मोमेंट वो गोंद जमीन पे गिर गया, उठाया, साफ किया, फिर दूसरे झोली में, झोली नंबर 2 में डाला, मीन्स द क्वालिटी ऑफ दैट गम वाज सेकंड स्टैंडर्ड। अब इन्होंने क्या किया, एक लंबी लकड़ी ली, एक लंबा पाइप लिया, उसके एक एंड में एक स्क्रबर लगाया। तो पाइप का साइज इतना बड़ा था कि जो भी गोंद वो स्क्रबर से निकलेगा पेड़ पे से, वो पाइप के द्वारा डायरेक्ट झोली में आएगा। जितना भी गोंद जो वो जमा कर रहा है पूरा फर्स्ट ग्रेड क्वालिटी का बन रहा है, उसमें सेकंड ग्रेड कोई बन ही रहा है, तो उसकी मार्केट वैल्यू ऑटोमेटिक बढ़ गई। आई मीन सम innovations of such type. It need not be technically very top level. Can be simple also. And then it become a national movement of innovations. And then finally, again supported by Ministry of Science and Technology. Because Ministry of Science and Technology is interested to know the innovations and work it further on that. Now, we will be able to develop ethical and responsible engineers or scientists for tomorrow when we combine ICAS. There can be sustainable architecture, Vastu principles. I'm talking about the engineering people. When they are teaching civil engineering, can architect and structural engineers have some knowledge of Vastu? Today that Vastu business is big. It is going in boom, but then everyone is not doing it properly. That's the problem. Can there be a proper way to guide them? Ancient metallurgy, that was also very important. Composite material पे भी बहुत काम हुआ है. We don't know. So there is one professor in Pune, and then she is working on the Indian knowledge system to develop some composite materials. And she is planning that I can develop an air filter so that the room in which you are sitting, the AQI index is better. She has come up with that idea. And इसके लिए वो क्या कर रही है, यज्ञ की रक्षा and certain other things, she is trying to convert that into composite materials. This is nothing but ancient metallurgy converted into modern day problem. We are looking for some agency to finance that. Traditional water management systems, whether we can have solutions from traditional water management systems. Indigenous agriculture technologies, and teaching that in the agriculture universities. Next PPT. I have something to tell the administrator. There is one Professor Pankaj who has done good work in this since last few years. Yesterday I was in his college, so I have invited him to join us at 4:30. So if someone by name Pankaj, because he's traveling somewhere, but he said, I'll join you for 10 minutes and share my results. So if he joins, if you get some request, please admit Professor Pankaj. Now the key policy guidelines, as you know, 5% credits. It can be delivered through dedicated IKS courses, which we already are doing. Embedded modules in existing subjects. ये बड़ी important बात है. Can we go for embedding the modules in existing subjects? The subject that you are teaching, If you are a professor of psychology, teaching psychology, try to understand something from, take some component from IKS. Lot of literature on psychology is there. You can do some experimentations. For example, we did it and we found that with the help of Diner scale, which is a proven method in measuring the life satisfaction in positive psychology, with that support, we found that the technique which I mentioned about 5 Vedic laws of success, the life satisfaction is enhanced up to 20%. Now, maybe that, yes, then if that's the case, life satisfaction can be added as a subject or a module in some subject, because everyone wants satisfied life. There could be multidisciplinary electives combining IKS, experiential learning projects. So Professor Pankaj has implemented some experiential learning projects. So we would like to hear from him, from horse's mouth. Then the goal is integrate the knowledge heritage with modern scientific education. Whatever is there, जो भी हमारे पास पुराना नॉलेज है, उसको ग्रंथों में पुराणों में रख के उसकी पूजा ना करे, उस पर रिसर्च करे और देखे कि आज के जो प्रॉब्लम्स है इसके लिए कुछ सॉल्यूशन मिलता है. If you can have this kind of approach, probably then we are doing justice to what is expected in this current education policy and IKS in education system. Okay, next PPT. What can we do? Out of the 8 credits that we are supposed to have, we assume that 8 क्रेडिट मैंडेटरी है, हम 8 पे ही रुक रहे हैं. एक आधा कॉलेज होगा जो उससे आगे जाएगा, जैसे कि कीस्टोन कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, वहां मैं कल गया था एंड द फाउंडर डायरेक्टर इज माय फ्रेंड. सो ही सेड, सर हम आईकेएस में एक नया काम कर रहे हैं. एंड देन ही कॉल्ड प्रोफेसर पंकज एंड सेड, सर से जरा शेयर करो आपने क्या किया है. एंड देन ही शेयर्ड गूगल ड्राइव विथ मी. आफ्टर गोइंग थ्रू दैट गूगल ड्राइव, I requested, why don't you join tomorrow in my session on integrating IKS and share your experience, how you have done it. He has come up with 200 papers written by first year engineering students. That's a unique thing. We'll discuss. आज हम 2 क्रेडिट या 4 क्रेडिट का कोर्स तो ऑलरेडी दे रहे हैं. इंट्रोडक्शन टू IKS, हिस्ट्री टाइप का सब्जेक्ट हो गया. देन डिसिप्लिन स्पेसिफिक IKS, जिस डिसिप्लिन में आप हो, try to understand which Rishi had done some work on that and incorporate some way. Maybe 1 credit means आपका अगर 4 क्रेडिट का कोर्स है 40 आवर्स वाला, तो उसमें से 10 आवर्स ऑफ टीचिंग बेस्ड ऑन सम IKS रिलेटेड विद दैट सब्जेक्ट. जैसे कि इंजीनियरिंग के कुछ एग्जांपल्स मैंने लिए या साइकोलॉजी के एक लिया. नाउ यू सी विच सब्जेक्ट यू आर टीचिंग एंड हाउ यू कैन combine 1 credit in a 4 credit course from IKS. There is a real integration of going two things going together then. There could be multidisciplinary IKS electives. So suppose you are offering 3 electives at a time for 2 credits, and 1 or half credit of that is coming from IKS. You are dealing with larger way, in a little larger way with IKS at your institution level. Experiential or project work. Experiential means उसको कुछ पेपर लिखने के बोल रहे हैं, सेमिनार देने के बोल रहे हैं, एक छोटा सा प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं. And then student is exposed. ये मॉडर्न सिस्टम से मैंने किया, these are the results. IKS बेस से किया, the results are improved. तो उसके मन में ये फिक्स हो जाएगा कि यस आईकेएस इज द नीड ऑफ द टाइम फॉर फ्यूचर। और वो जब कल चल के प्रोफेशनल बोल के दुनिया में जाएगा, तो देन देर इज एन प्रॉपर एप्लीकेशन ऑफ आईकेएस। Recently in Mumbai, there was a conference for principals, and I was in a college delivering some session on IKS. So evening we had discussions. The principal said, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से जो अथॉरिटीज आई थी, उन्होंने कहा इससे होगा क्या, ए डे विल कम वेयर देर इज अ spiritualization of governing systems. See, what is the ultimate aim? Spiritualization of governing systems, spiritualization of political systems. Means that ethical approach in every walk of life. And that can become a culture of the society. So that kind of society we are looking for. It could be in engineering programs, polytechnic programs, or it could be in higher education. We don't know about the school education, how to implement. I'm not a person from that. But I could develop a child resilience for the teenagers. We have developed a small program of 2-3 hours based on that. क्योंकि आजकल के बच्चे ना घर में फटाक से they get angry. Can he shift from behavior pattern of reactive mode to reflective mode? And maybe that can become a part of child education too. Anyway, that's not our subject. We are dealing with higher education and professional education. So we'll speak to that. Next PPT. Embedding IKS in subjects. अभी हमने यहाँ इंजीनियरिंग के कुछ एग्जांपल्स लिए हैं, but you think of the subject in the field in which you are working. For example, civil engineering में ancient water management system as we discussed, traditional metallurgy and materials management, Vastu, climate responsive designs of the buildings, environmental engineering, indigenous ecological practices can be worked. Please wait. Go back here. Oh, you moved too much. PPT embedding IKS in engineering subjects. Go back. I don't know why did you move. Go back. Wait here. Don't move, please. Then computer engineering, ancient Indian algorithms and logic. Can the modern computer engineering be based on that? Like binary system from Pingala Rishi. Plus the logic, ethical approach of logic. So the AI is based on that. AI is based on logical way of thinking. Next PPT. The teaching method could be effective approaches to teach IKS, case studies of traditional technologies. So students go, they study these traditional technologies, and then you have a case study discussion. Or at your institute level, you have certain knowledge about traditional things which are existing in the society. Modern people calling it as superstitious. You are now looking at it from a scientific perspective. Plain mind. It may get proven, it may not get proven. If you are doing a research, be prepared for success and failure both. Even if you report at the end of your research, no, this is all wrong. Doesn't matter. That's also a success of research. Someone else will not go in that direction again for his research. That itself is also a useful research. Comparative analysis of modern engineering or modern systems residential. Field visits to the heritage sites, heritage technologies. And what is important is project-based learning using IKS as part of that. Then interdisciplinary discussions across. So our aim was to develop a method for goal and personality mastery. We tried to make use of IKS and the modern systems like SWOT analysis and many more things. And we could come up with a program, Vedic techniques for goal and personality mastery, which is an amalgamation of modern methods in which we ask the students to use ChatGPT or any other AI tool. When he does his SWOT analysis, after writing strengths and weaknesses, and we also ask them to develop a formula of professional satisfaction for them for the next 5 years. And then put these three things in the prompt. Recently, we tried it in the pharmacy college. They were all students of B pharmacy, M pharmacy, and D pharm. Every student got he or she what can be the opportunities for his or her career. And at the end of the second day program was every student developed a 20 years career roadmap. आज आप क्लास में जाके पूछिए, what is your roadmap of career? Very few students will be able to answer. But then we can help them to develop a 20 years career roadmap. We observed that 2 days were not enough, but a 3 days exclusive program for the students or a 2-credit course, IKS for goal and personality mastery, can help your students to develop a own 20 years career roadmap. Along with career roadmap means not only what I will be doing, also how I will be developing on physical and mental front. So that's also possible. Then focus should be on application and relevance. ये important है उसमें. जो relevant नहीं है वो छोड़ भी देते हैं ना. There are certain practices in heritage way form. If it is not relevant for today, okay, we'll say नहीं ये इतना applicable नहीं है. Next PPT, yes. Experiential learning opportunities. Students can engage in documentation of traditional technologies, traditional knowledge. So a lot of documentation will come up from every institution. Now, if we are looking after civil engineering, maybe local water harvesting systems. You are talking about water harvesting. It is a problem of sustainable development, sustainable living. There could be few local systems, study them, develop a documentation and bring it in the academics. Analysis of ancient engineering texts. When I was doing my research in entrepreneurship development, we said that case studies should be local case studies. That was one of my research findings. Because if the case studies are local case studies, वो उसको दिख रहा है वो आदमी सामने, नजर के सामने उसके गांव में, then there is a feeling that I can also do it. That becomes a starting point for a student to think becoming an entrepreneur. Same thing here. Local things you try to find out. And then based on that, what will happen is you will develop a lot of knowledge which is useful to the society where your college or university is situated. and having a base. So we are not globally competitive and culturally fragmented. We don't want to be like this for a longer time. We want globally competitive and not culturally fragmented, which I said in the beginning of my session. And that's possible by institutions like yours. Next PPT. The benefit of students would be embedding IKS helps students develop ethical engineering or professional mindset. मुझे ज्यादा इंजीनियरिंग में लोग बुलाते हैं, so we used those terminologies, but it is equally applicable in professionals' life, every type of professional. Sustainability awareness. All our ancient practices were with sustainability awareness. Because of Macaulay, we thought that these are all superstitious things. And we are now facing the problem. The world is facing the problem of sustainable development. Survival of the human species on this earth itself is now questioned. We are reached to that level because of only modern knowledge. Can we reverse the process by combining IKS in our systems? And we can be the beginners and then the world will follow us. That's the idea. Innovation inspired by heritage knowledge. I tried in my own research, developed a program called 5 Ethic Laws of Success, created a proof of concept in New York, and now I am saying, yes, it is possible. I have done it. You can also do it. That is my view. Cultural understanding and global perspective. We are having a problem with legal department. We wanted some data about data privacy insurance that is purchased through legal department in that company. So there was a girl called Katharina. Everyone was calling her Anna. So almost for 1 month, Gaurav was telling me, Anna is not giving me the data. I have sent 1 email, 2 email, 10 email, 100 emails. She is not responding back to me. अभी हमने क्या किया? This is nothing but a corporate politics. तू कुछ नया करने जा रहा है, तू सीईओ के पास जा रहा है, हम तुझे नहीं होने देंगे. It is natural. We kept on reporting for 1 month. The data is requested. Hope it will be made available to us. After 1 month, the CEO saw कि 1 महीने से आपके ये सब मेल दिख रहे हैं, आपको डेटा नहीं मिल रहा है. In that meeting, he said to the C-suite executive of legal department, nothing doing. Next 24 hours, I want all this data on the table. The girl had to work for 24 hours, no sleeping, make the data available and put it on the table of the CEO. And his work started from that. अपन सहज बोलते 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 हम बोल देते ना, दूसरे के कर्म में हम नहीं अटकेंगे, नहीं तो उसके कर्म में हम भी अटकेंगे. यही प्रिंसिपल हमने यूज किया है टू हैंडल द कॉर्पोरेट पॉलिटिक्स. अभी नाउ इन द आईज ऑफ लीगल डिपार्टमेंट वी आर नॉट विलन्स. इन द आईज ऑफ Anna also we are not villains because we never uttered their names for 1 month. This is nothing but law of karma applicable in the corporate world. Now recently he was telling कि now sir अगला जो डेटा है ना वो फिर से नहीं मिल रहा है, फिर से I am dependent on legal department. I said okay. Now because you are head data privacy, your position is already changed. Now you can directly I request the legal department. Send the emails. हमने उस टाइम क्या किया था? When the primary data is not available, let's work with secondary data. And CEO said, why? Why secondary data? Why not primary data? Then he saw those emails and gave the instructions. He said, okay, after 1 month again, the same thing may happen. Now it is not only corporate politics, departmental politics, because data privacy has been created as a department and he is head of that department. And also a trainee chief privacy officer of the company for tomorrow. So even at global perspective level also, we can see that these things are applicable. And the bosses are saying, whatever you are doing, keep on doing, that's changing. And that's why his boss and the next boss was once said, we are investing a lot in you. We want you to be seen as the CPO of this company. अभी तू बीच में से नहीं छूटना भाई. They were trying to tell him like this. बीच में भाग मत जाना, 3 साल का प्रोसेस है, भाग मत जाना. We are investing on you. Means they will be the people known in the company that you have created this chief privacy officer. The base is in IKS, 5 Vedic laws of success. So you will be also be having able to do it something like this. I would like to know if Mr. Pankaj, Professor Pankaj has joined. He needs to be permitted to speak. Professor Pankaj, if you are joined, or system administrator, if you have already received a request from a new person called Professor Pankaj, please admit him and allow him to speak. Hope the system administrator with us. If nothing happens, then yes, I am there to continue. So here is a cultural understanding and global perspective. Result is technically competent and socially responsible professionals. Yes, Pankaj sir has joined. Sir, can you speak? Unmute yourself and speak. And we go to the next PowerPoint. Next PPT. Faculty will play a key role designing IKS integrated course modules, encouraging interdisciplinary learning, guiding student projects related for traditional knowledge. यही पंकज सर ने किया है. He is with us. He may be permitted to get unmuted. Connecting heritage knowledge with modern research. Next PPT. Next, we'll come back to this again. Okay. So the conclusion is, IKS integration is not about teaching history alone, जो आज हम कर रहे हैं सब universities. It is about learning from traditional knowledge system, applying them to the modern technological challenges, developing responsible, innovative engineers or professionals. Embedding IKS strengthens both education and the society. Okay. Next PPT. Best practices. Do we have any institution who has tried it? And yesterday I came across Professor Pankaj through their founder director, Professor Soman. And in the evening when he shared his document with me, I found out, अरे ये तो बहुत बड़ा काम किया है आपने. They have created 200 papers as per the norms of Pune University within the perspective of Pune University. Pankaj sir, can you speak now? Can you unmute and speak, Professor Pankaj? Please unmute. System administrator, please unmute Professor Pankaj. उनको कोर्स बनाइए, प्रोफेसर पंकज को कोर्स बनाइए, प्लीज. System administrator, are you with us? Anyone from the organizers? Can you unmute? Can you help him to get unmuted? Because you have muted everyone. I think वो हमको यहाँ पे बिठा के चले गए हैं सब लोग. Administrator, are you there? इनको कोर्स बना सकते हो आप? सर, कैन यू अनम्यूट और नो, नॉट येट? पंकज सर, कैन यू अनम्यूट? नो. ओके. Can you? Okay, then there is no choice. Then I had to speak on behalf of Pankaj sir, because anyone is there from बामू? बामू में से कोई है हमारे साथ अभी यूनिवर्सिटी पैटर्न यूनिवर्सिटी में से जिन्होंने ये सेशन रखा है? Yes, yes. No one. They have removed this facility for everyone, but I had requested them that पंकज सर को आप जब भी वो ज्वाइन हो जाएंगे तो उनको वो ये कीजिए. But it seems that no one is there from the organizer's side in our group now. Government organization, so हमको यहाँ बिठा के चले गए होंगे. Okay, let me now speak. There's no choice. What Professor Pankaj has done? His boss Soman sir said कि अरे हम लोग कुछ नया करते हैं. सब फर्स्ट ईयर इंजीनियरिंग के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए एक कोई भी एक ये लीजिए, कोई भी एक प्रैक्टिस लीजिए एंड देन उस पर काम करने के लिए बताइए. सो व्हाट ही इज राइटिंग? Innovative IKS activity for first year engineering students by Professor Pankaj Karande, Head Mechanical Engineering Department, Keystone School of Engineering, Pune. The objective is to bridge traditional knowledge with scientific reasoning under the IKS curriculum under Savitribai Phule Pune University guidelines. Within the guidelines, he has done this. It's one of the best practices. So I had requested, but unfortunately, the system is not permitting him to speak, and we are not able to hear from him. Activity conducted was students were assigned to explore scientific principles behind Indian traditions. So they looked at it as a tradition and tried to understand whether there is any scientific meaning in that. And there are large number of almost 200 papers. कल मैंने देखा एक पेपर जो मैंने देखा उसमें से कि एक लड़की ने बनाया है कि दही और शक्कर खा के जाते हैं कोई अच्छे काम के लिए. And she is looking at it from the point of view of prebiotic and glucose. Next PPT. The focus is distinguishes science versus superstition in daily practices. Somewhere the superstitions also would have been reported. Sir, if you would have been allowed to speak, they think you could tell it with. But unfortunately, everyone is muted except me. So now there is no choice. Scientific reasoning behind उपवास. देखिए क्या काम किया है. फास्टिंग. टुडे वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इंटरमीडिएट फास्टिंग. एकादशी क्यों करते थे? दे आर ट्राइंग टू फाइंड एन आंसर विद द हेल्प ऑफ फर्स्ट ईयर स्टूडेंट्स. दिस इज बियॉन्ड ए नॉर्मल करिकुलम. जो सब्जेक्ट में लिखा है उतना तो पढ़ाया है, लेकिन कुछ कॉलेजेस ऐसे रहने चाहिए पंकज सर जैसे, कुछ प्रोफेसर ऐसे रहने चाहिए हु आर रेडी टू गो बियॉन्ड. इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ दिया इन तुलसी वृंदावन, use of camphor in homes, design of logic of Yagna Kunda, dimension wise. जो कि IKS में जो different traditions हमने देखे हैं उसमें वो it is there. Mathematics was given importance from the designing Yagna Kundas for different reasons. And sir has come up with 200 plus papers, research papers. Of course, what he has been instrumental in doing is encourage critical thinking and research mindset among the students. And students, 200 students, see, connected cultural practices with engineering concepts. And his remark is, although first year students are beginners in research writing, their effort and curiosity were commendable. Because see, students is a big force. When I joined as a principal, I wanted to implement a learning management system, open source, called Moodle. We had one faculty member, he had heard my lecture on uh, this kind of learning management systems, and he said, sir, abhi I have joined the college where you are a principal, so हम कुछ करेंगे. मैं कहा जरूर करते हैं. So that one teacher with 20 students, 6 months, students एक बड़ा force होता है, day and night वो काम कर रहे थे. And then we had more with 2000 students for different subjects. We are more than 5,000-6,000 accounts. I mean, things happening on Moodle platform. And it was seen that we are next to IIT Mumbai. IIT Mumbai is spending crores of rupees because there are tremendous government grants. And we are doing just with 20 students without a single pie from anyone else, not even from our own management. Same thing Pankaj sir has done here. Sir, I don't think you asked management for any money for this. किसी बच्चे ने ये प्रोजेक्ट करने के लिए पैसा नहीं मांगा होगा. You can type it out, sir. Yes or no? What was the cost of these projects? If you are there, he would have left also because he was traveling. No money, zero cost. See, with zero cost, he has created 200 papers, which can become a base of 200 types of researches of tomorrow. Is it not the best practices in IKS, integrating IKS in the modern education system? और इससे और बड़ा क्या चाहिए? That's the reason I requested him, but unfortunately he's not able to speak. Otherwise, जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मुझसे ज्यादा सर इसमें और डेप्थ में जाते थे. Many of you also would be having done anything like this. Single teacher creating 200 research papers, which are nothing but 200 ideas for future research of IKS plus modern management technologies. And he has done it within 3 months' time. Is it not the best practice? We need to record such best practices from different institutions, and that will be the source of really integrating IKS in a modern education system, which is the need of the time for tomorrow. Next PPT, madam. Now, here what I have done, let me tell you, because we also offer it as a 1 hour session. Suppose you are giving only 1 hour session. You can create breathe awareness. Different types of breathings have got different benefits. We call it as code of breathing. 4-6-1-2-4-1. ये दो कोड हम यूज करते हैं. एक में आपको यू फील एनर्जेटिक, दूसरे में यू फील काम. Then, so here is a distribution of 60 minutes. Next. But it can go up to 3 days program or 2-credit course. We have developed and offered it as we recommended as 2-credit course to Batu Lonere, Technical University at Lonere. But they take their own time to say yes or no for that. But they said, okay, बना के तो भेजिए. So हमने भेजा है. But anyone, any autonomous college, any deemed university can. Yeah, sir, I had no choice than to present your slides because you are unmuted and probably the organizers, no one is here with us now. Okay. So next PPT. You can ask your students. 1 घंटे का एक सेशन लेके देखिए. Sit straight, close the eyes. 3 rounds of deep conscious breathing. Count say 1 to 4. Breathe in. Count 1 to 16, hold the breath. Count 1 to 8, release the breath. And count 1 to 4, जिसे कहते हैं बाह्य कुंभक. हमने देखा है कि इसमें से you feel calmness. So control the breath to control the mind, and control the mind to control your behavior. You can have a small practice of 1 hour session in your class, whether it's part of curriculum or not. Every teacher is allowed to spend a 1 extra hour. And what you are doing, inhale the peace, exhale the stress. Energy management is foundation of emotional intelligence. So you can create an emotional intelligence, EQ, developing EQ of your students in your own class, whether your university or college is putting it in the curriculum or not. Any professor who is interested can do it. Next PPT. You can ask them selfless contribution. What is yajna? Selfless contribution. Write one way you contribute selflessly. Sorry. Share in groups. Make small groups of 3 to 5 students. Let them share how they want to contribute. This will develop the contribution mindset in the students. Build service-oriented leadership. You are doing that. Next PPT. Generosity of knowledge. Share one life or work lesson. Cooperative learning. ऐसे कहा जाता है कि भाई मैकॉले एक गुरुकुल में गए थे and there was no teacher and 10 students were learning. So Macaulay asked, don't you think that you will go wrong? One student replied, if we study alone, we may go wrong. When we are studying in a group, we'll correct each other's. That is the beauty of cooperative learning, जिसको आज हम cooperative learning कह रहे हैं. So we implemented for 1 year because it was in need of almost 3 lakhs of rupees budget per year that the organization was asking. It was an Australia-based company where online cooperative learning और उसका पूरा वो डेटा बना रहे थे. Most of my teachers were youngsters. 30 एज ग्रुप, 30 साल की बहुत सी लड़कियां फैकल्टी बोल के थी मेरे पास. सरप्राइजिंगली रात में 12 बजे तक, 2 बजे तक we found the teachers are busy in learning on that platform. And students are, some students are late nighters, some study early morning, some are doing something in the evenings. 24/7 the platform was engaged. ये हमने स्टडी किया. And जब he shared the data, he said, sir, Mumbai is something, मुंबई के लिए कहते हैं ना, city never sleeps. 24 घंटे मुंबई जागती है. आपके बच्चों ने ये प्रूव करके बताया कि 24 घंटे कोई ना कोई जाग रहा है. And then one thing is that one student raising a query, others are discussing on that, and then together they are coming up with that kind of knowledge base. Cooperative learning, beauty of cooperative learning. This was the base of Gurukul system. Can we bring back in our education system? Partner will reflect what they will apply. Someone is sharing, another is reflecting, another student is reflecting. Knowledge shared is knowledge multiplied. So this is done at students level in the class. Next. Up. Silent minute challenge. जैसे अभी हमने 20 seconds का करके देखा. Observe steadiness of mind. You will find that mind becomes very powerful. That zero at psychological level has such a powerful way. Resilience defines true discipline. So people can learn from experience that resilience defines true discipline. So we are writing one novel, corporate novel, where a cybersecurity engineer, becoming a chief resilience officer of this company, where we are combining two case studies, one from New York, one from Stuttgart, and coming up with a 300 pages novel. So some professor of uh, literature, English literature, she is trying to now look at it from the point of view of grammar. There should not be too many mistakes. We engineers, we are not so good in grammar. Next PPT. Karma, purposeful action, role, what I do daily, who benefits from that. The greater purpose has a ripple effect, जैसे पानी में पत्थर मारते हैं. Know your ripple to find your dharma. Dharma means nothing but ज्ञानेश्वरी में कहा गया है, सधर्मू जो बापा तो नित्य यज्ञ जाणपा परिवर्तता ते तपापा संचारू नाही. One way is okay, perform yajna. Another way could be contribution mindset all the time. ये आपका धर्म है. Means this is your property as a professional. This is your characteristic as a professional. Dharma does not mean a religion. It's a characteristic as a professional. Next PPT. And the Swadhyay. What habits I should change? एक बार हमने करके देखा था, एक गांव में किया था मराठवाड़े में ही. कुछ बच्चों ने कहा भाई मैं टीवी ज्यादा देखता हूँ, मैं 1 घंटा कम करूंगा. कुछ लोगों ने कहा मुझे वो टोबैको खाने की आदत है, मैं उसको कम करूंगा. 10 बार खाता हूं तो 8 बार खाऊंगा, 6 बार खाऊंगा. द आइडिया इज गिव अप समथिंग, ऑब्जर्व योर माइंड. When the mind stops craving for it, go to the next, go to the next. And this way you can improve through Swadhyay. And this is nothing but a source of Kaizen consciousness. What strengthens am I grateful for? Trying to be thankful, grateful for something. So self-study can awaken the self-leadership. Means manage the self to manage the world. A law of real leadership, which can come from Indian knowledge system. And then all MBA programs can try to incorporate this in the curriculums as a part of IKS, where you teach the students how to manage the self. Calmness during chaotic conditions is one of the important need of the modern man. And IKS can give you the solutions from that. Maybe through that 20-second security pause, deep breathing exercises, or aligning panchakoshas, body relaxed, annamaya kosha. Breathe slow, deep breathing, manomaya kosha, feeling energy. Then trying to keep your knowledge alive, Vijnanmaya Kosh and Anandamaya Kosh. Always keep on the greater purpose than only own benefit, self benefit. And then this Panchakosha alignment can lead to the concept of managing self to manage the world. Inner alignment leading to external excellence. जिसका प्रूफ ऑफ कंसेप्ट हमने वो डॉक्टर गौरव वाक के केस में न्यूयॉर्क में करके देखा है. So we are now ready with the proof of concept so that it can be implemented in a multiplier way. So anyone from management background, MBA students, you can try this. Or anyone else can try it, because everyone is at the leadership position. You are leader of the family, leader of the class. Every teacher is the leader of the class. Where to be an effective teacher, Inner alignment can lead to external excellence, so that your connect with your students can improve, can be great. Next. So, Panchakosha integration is Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, Manomay Kosh, Vijnanmay Kosh, Anandamay Kosh. Balance Koshas is balanced leader. Physical, energy, mind, wisdom, bliss. So all can be aligned properly. And then you will find that you can have a calmness, you can experience calmness during chaotic conditions. And the leaders of tomorrow, or every individual also, we need to be calm in chaotic situations. And if we learn this, our behavior pattern will be shifting from reactive mode to reflective mode. ये हम सबके लिए काम की चीज है. And some of you would be already doing it. What we generally do, we react with emotions. When something has happened, someone has criticized us, say. What we do, we take a small 20 seconds creative pause and then decide the action. हम बहुत बार फटाक से गुस्सा हो जाते हैं. Now, let's look at it getting angry from another perspective. It's easy to get angry, but difficult to get angry to the right person and the right cause to the right extent. And if that happens, then maybe that you are using anger as a strategy to get the things done. But within you, you are calm. A mother getting angry with the child, she is using anger as a strategy. She knows when to get angry to the what extent, so that the child should do the things right. That's all. Now, any leader can do this. So instead of reactive behavior pattern, we can have a reflective behavior pattern just with the help of creative pause. Next, PPT. So closing affirmation could be, I work selflessly, share freely, act mindfully, reflect deeply, and live joyfully. So you can have a 1 hour session for your students. And what you have done? You have done completed a yajna of leadership. Sadharmudo Bapa to Nitya Yajna Janu. Yajna of leadership. Next part. The legacy message can be, a true leader does not just lead people, he elevates their consciousness. And when, as a leader, you can elevate the consciousness, a teacher is a leader of the class. If you can elevate the consciousness of your people, your leadership will lead to legacy. And your students would like to come back to you for guidance even after 20 years. I will just share my own experience. Okay? Sometimes own experience easy to explain क्योंकि हमने खुद वो जिया है. One of my students, I taught entrepreneurship development as an elective to 6 students. उसमें हमने ये ट्राई किया IKS वाला part. Year was 95-96, academic year 95-96, almost 30 years back. Recently, 2 of them met me. एक से मेरा ज्यादा संबंध आया, दूसरा एक प्रोग्राम में मिला था. And both of them, they said, sir, we all 6 are industrialists with a turnover of 100 CR to 350 CR. Different individuals. तो यहाँ पे एक प्रूफ ऑफ कंसेप्ट मिला कि IKS बेस लेके सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाओ. मैंने ऐसा किया, भाड़ में गया वो सिलेबस जो यूनिवर्सिटी को मैंने ही बनाया था यूनिवर्सिटी के सिस्टम में. जो मैं पढ़ाऊंगा वो थोड़ा सा अलग भी रहेगा, आईकेएस बेस्ड, जिसको आज हमने आईकेएस नाम दिया है, उस टाइम तो ये नाम भी नहीं था। बट द रिजल्ट इज ऑल 6 विद इन 10 years बिकेम एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट। उसमें से एक मुझे ज्यादा कांटेक्ट में था बिकॉज ही इज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एलईडी बल्ब्स। You buy LED bulb of any make, it's manufactured by a student called Sudhir. He has 4 factories at Chakan in Pune and 2 in Baramati. What he has done, he has gone for vertical integration of the production process. 6 टाइप की चीजें वो खुद ही बना रहा है। एवरी फेज में अगर 5% प्रॉफिट मार्जिन है तो इसका कॉस्ट बन गया लेस देन 30%। अब डोकलाम हुआ, यू ऑल नो। उसके बाद गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने कहा कि भाई जो जो चीजों में हम चाइना पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं रह सकते, हम नहीं रहेंगे। उसमें से एक निकला ये एलईडी बल्ब, इंडिया में बनाओ। कौन बनाएगा? दिखा कि ये सुधीर नाम का कोई आदमी है, ये बना सकता है। अब सुधीर ने क्या किया, ही इज सप्लाइंग एलईडी बल्ब्स टू मेजर ऑफ द मैन्युफैक्चरर्स who buy from such small or medium scale industries at the cost of Guangzhou, जो चाइना का बेस है, विथ 1 year वारंटी, जो चाइना वाला नहीं दे रहा था। सो प्लस पॉइंट ये आ गया कि उसी कॉस्ट में हम आपको एलईडी बल्ब दे रहे हैं विथ 1 year वारंटी। अब बीच में 2018 में ही कम्युनिकेटेड विथ मी कि सर आई एम प्लानिंग टू स्टार्ट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ई बाइक्स। अब बाइक में जो पॉपुलर है वो है वो होंडा सिटी, होंडा की कौन सी वो गाड़ी है छोटी। सो हमने उसको सामने रखा, चार्जिंग विद इन 30 मिनट्स। कॉलेज के 3 बच्चे गाड़ी पे आराम से बैठ के घूमे, क्योंकि बहुत सी जगह 3 बच्चे साथ में ही जाते हैं, या कोई खेत का आदमी है तो 1 कुंटल माल लेके भी वो जा पाए। तो दीज 2 कंडीशंस वी केप्ट। हमने क्या किया, वी वेंट टू आईआईटी मुंबई, एक टैलेंटेड बच्चा सिलेक्ट किया विद 20 lakhs पैकेज। देन हम वी स्पॉन्सर्ड a competition called Baja competition for vehicles, especially e-vehicles part. We said we'll sponsor it for next 3 years. वो स्पॉन्सर करने के बाद हम क्या देख रहे थे कि भाई उसमें से कौन से स्टूडेंट्स हैं कि जो एक्टिवली इन्वॉल्व हो रहे प्रोजेक्ट में। दो स्टूडेंट्स वी ऑफर्ड देम एट स्टार्टिंग ऑफ 8 lakhs पैकेज। ऐसे 20 बच्चे दिए। अब ये 20 स्टूडेंट, वो आईआईटी का एक, और उनके ऊपर एक एडवाइजर रखा है जो फोर्स मोटर के रिसेंटली रिटायर्ड आर&डी डायरेक्टर थे। एंड आई वाज ऑन द एकेडमिक कमिटी ऑफ एआरएआई, जहाँ भी गवर्नमेंट की परमिशन लगती थी, तो आई वाज एबल टू गेट इट थ्रू एआरएआई। और वो गाड़ी बनी, मार्केट में भी आई, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली 2020 में कोविड आया। अब इस समय क्या हो गया, 130 करोड़ का वर्क इन प्रोसेस मटेरियल था, 50 करोड़ की एक गवर्नमेंट की ऑर्डर थी जो रेडी थी, बट 2 साल तक वो उठाई नहीं गवर्नमेंट ने बाद में, क्योंकि कोविड था। अब इस सब पे जो बैंक का जो लोन लिया गया था वो तो मीटर चालू रह गया। 180 करोड़ का लॉस हुआ, प्लस 20 CR उस पे ब्याज लगा। 200 करोड़ की वजह से उसके 6-7 फ्लैट, 7-8 दुकान, शॉप्स थे, 6 फैक्ट्रीज, 1 करोड़ की मर्सिडीज, एवरीथिंग वॉज विद द बैंक। लकीली अभी तक ऑक्शन नहीं हुआ था ये प्रॉपर्टी का, पूरी फैक्ट्री बंद, सब बंद। 6 महीने से मुझसे बात नहीं कर रहे। आई वॉज आस्किंग क्या हो गया, ही वॉज अवॉइडिंग मी। सर आई हैव टू मेनी प्रॉब्लम्स, सर आई हैव टू मेनी प्रॉब्लम्स। फिर एक बार उसने ही स्पेल्ड इट आउट कि सर ऐसे ऐसे हुआ। मराठीत बोलत होता, सर मला झोप लागत नाही, मला जेवण जात नाही, मला कशात आता लक्ष लागत नाही, मी झोपलो आयुष्यात. आम्ही म्हटलं लेट्स टेक दिस क्रिएटिव्ह पॉज, प्रॅक्टिस दिस क्रिएटिव्ह पॉज. 15 days ago, I was in one of the another company in Chakan training the group of 6 entrepreneurs who are the different members from the same family doing different aspects of the business there, and 5 of them, and then one was outsider but relative. मैंने कहा यही कहीं आसपास में मेरे स्टूडेंट की भी फैक्ट्री है. देन आई कॉल्ड हिम, देन द ओनर ऑफ दिस कंपनी ही टोल्ड हिम कि ये कहाँ कहाँ लोकेशन है. शाम में वो मुझे मिलने आया, हम साथ में जा रहे. अब वो कह रहे हैं मुझे कि सर वो जो क्रिएटिव पॉज लिया मैंने ऑलमोस्ट फॉर अ मंथ, उसके बाद थोड़ा मेरा मन शांत हुआ. उसमें से मुझे किसी ने 2 करोड़ का फाइनेंस किया. मैंने उसमें से छोटा सा एक बिजनेस करके बताया. He said कि okay, I am ready to finance 20 CR. But he was observing. अब बैंक का तो सब अटक के बैठे. अब उसको एक 90 CR की ऑर्डर मिली जिसमें उसको he got a 60 CR which he could repay back to the bank. Already repaid. तो ऑक्शन अभी होगा नहीं क्योंकि the client has started repaying that loan of 200 CR. अब दूसरी ऑर्डर मिली है 90 CR की. वो कह रहा है उसमें से भी अभी 90 CR 60 CR I will be able to pay within 1 month. बैंक को भी कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया ना कि भाई अभी वापस भी कर रहा है. सो व्हाट ही अभी एलजी ने उसको एक बात ऑफर दी है कि भाई हम आपके लिए इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, यू रन दिस फैक्ट्री. अब कह रहा है उसमें से मुझे महीने को 25-30 करोड़ का बिजनेस मिलेगा, वहां से फिर मैं 10-10 करोड़ पर मंथ रिपे कर दूंगा. ही इज कमिटिंग टू हिज बैंक. एंड दिस होल स्टोरी ही इज टेलिंग मी व्हेन ही वाज ड्राइविंग. वी आर गोइंग टू हिज होम फॉर हैविंग ए कप ऑफ टी. नाउ ये जो रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन स्टूडेंट एंड टीचर है and the power of creative pause, which we talked about. We just tried it. We talked about the importance of zero from Indian knowledge system at the level of individuals or psychology. And this is the result. Next PPT. Anuja, next PowerPoint. Okay. Yeah. So here is a Google form you can fill up to understand to what extent you are following Yajnadan Tapakarma Swadhyaya Nirtu Bhavit in your life. So maybe you can copy this, or Anuja can show you the QR code which you can scan and use, those who are interested. And then we'll come back to you because उसमें आपका हमको आपका email ID भी रहेगा, तो we will come back to you with some analysis, preliminary analysis. So someone who is interested we can go further, or otherwise it's closed at that stage. So इसमें आप खुद को experiment कर रहे हो. To what extent in my life I am following this principle of Bhagavad Gita, Yajnadan Tapa Karma Sadhya, न त्यजम कार्यमत, और यज्ञदान तप कर्म स्वाध्याय निरतम. Next PPT. So thank you. Now actually we will go for a video. I said that student of Mumbai. So video देखते हैं. Then we'll come to question answers. Anuja, can you play the video? Or again the muting will be a problem. Just see if you can play that video. Whether the sound comes, we'll see. Try that video. Any problem in locating that? Should I share with you again? Yes. Let's see whether the sound comes here. ये इसको भी mute किया है. No, it's going in mute form. So he's saying, whenever you face a negative situation, he's that guy who was telling me that sir मुझे IT company शुरू करनी है, and then thinking of committing suicide, getting annoyed with the parents. Unfortunately ये आज का setting ऐसा है कि you cannot hear him, so that's why I'm narrating what he's talking. So he tried this creative pause, and within 6 months he came out of that. Unfortunately, this everything is muted by the uh, administrator, and administrator is not there with us now, so we can't help. And he could come out of that. So I have two examples now. One is this guy who is trying to speak to you, but the video is muted, so we have no choice. And I think we all will remain muted till 5:30. And then another is, if you cannot copy that Google form, you can copy this QR code. Anuja, can you go back to QR code now? Yes. Those interested, you can scan this QR code with the help of your mobile phones. Still, you will be redirected to the same Google form. This QR code will direct you to the Google form. If you are interested, you can fill the Google form. We can have a preliminary analysis to the extent what kind of lifestyle you are living, to the extent that Yadyadan Tapa Karma, that is in day-to-day life. What is your score on this? Can be seen. Okay. Last PPT, Anuja. Hope you have done it. Okay. You can go to the last one. And now I think if you have any queries, you can type it out and I will try to answer them. If any of the participant has any queries, you can type it out and I will answer. Anyone has any query? Thank you for your time and attention. The integration of Indian knowledge system into engineering education or higher education is an important step towards building sustainable, ethical, and innovative. Rajiv sir is saying thank you. That's okay. If you have any query, please ask the questions also. By combining traditional wisdom with modern engineering or modern professional pattern, we can develop professionals who are not only professionally or technically competent, skilled, but also socially responsible and culturally aware. So this is the beauty of Indian knowledge system. We will be able to implement in our class like Pankaj sir has done it in his college. Like this, we can have hundreds of case studies, best practices, and a day can come where such best practices can be documented together, and then our education system can be of a different type, really incorporating Indian knowledge system in the education sector, like what Pankaj sir has done. Okay. So any questions, you can type it out. Thank you is okay, but then, yeah, any query you want to ask, anything, any damn question, I am okay for that. Anyone has any question to ask? How we did it? How did we got into this? Whatever I have talked is based on my own 30 years of experience and research. Though my total experience is 45 years, IKS I started working from. My first project was in 1993, 1994, which prompted me to go for this subject, this way of working. And fortunately, without quoting the name to be Vedic techniques or Indian, there was nothing like an Indian knowledge system. We used a sugar-coated word like Macaulay, Oriental techniques. I got the sanction from AICT, 5 lakhs of rupees. Prior to that, technical entrepreneurship also 5 lakhs rupees from Ministry of HRD. And with these two research projects, we could develop what we are talking about, 5 Vedic laws of success today. So I think, thank you very much, everyone. And if the organizers are there, you can end the session. How to use this for computer science students, how to use this. So what we have done in VIT Pune, there were 5 students of data science. I'll just share our experience. So one Professor Dhake, he offered it as a project. The people who follow these techniques, in their day-to-day life, with the same type of demographic, that is age, marital status, family background, 150 people who follow this lifestyle and close associated with that center in Akkarkot, and 50 people who are not. So they collected the data, did the analysis, and they could find that the people who follow this lifestyle, life satisfaction is enhanced by approximately 20%. They didn't calculate, but the figures show it is enhanced by 20%. So maybe you can think of something like this. This is a project of data science, truly speaking. But you can think of going to understand what Pingala Rishi had talked about binary system. Can some knowledge from there be implemented in developing the future computers? And can we have a solution to sustainable development in sustainability also in computers? Because that's now a big question. How much energy is used, how that energy is brought, what are the incentives, or AI. Can you, AI is based on जो डेटा हम डालते हैं, हम ही डेटा डालते हैं. आप ट्राई करके देखिए, गूगल या चैट जीपीटी को पूछिए डॉक्टर श्रीकांत कल्लूरकर 5 वैदिक लॉज ऑफ सक्सेस, वो क्या बोलता है देखिए आप. So what I did, I spent more than 100 hours on chat GPT creating the database on 5 Vedic laws of success. And today it is giving me solutions for different kind of applications. Now a computer engineering person can definitely do this. Thank you very much for the question. So I think we have now come to the end of the session. So if there are no questions, we'll close down. Close the discussions. But I would appeal to all of you that yes, please practice this in your classes. And you will find that the students also would be saying thank you to you, the way you are telling me thank you. So with this, thank you very much. And I think we all can leave. If the organizers are there, fine. Otherwise, we are there to leave and then the meeting will get ended. Okay. Thank you. Very informative session. Thank you, sir. Roll number 43. Thank you. Roll number 4. I know teachers are given the roll numbers. Thank you very much. And okay. Sayyid Sab keh rahe, thank you, Praveen. Thank you, sir, for saying it nice session. Thank you, everyone. And then with this, I think we can close down. Can stop. Yes. Thank you, Anuja, for helping me. I think now, please permit me to leave this session. Okay. Oh, we are not allowed to leave also.